We've got 88s and we've got 106s. The 88s make somewhere in the neighborhood of about 3,500 horsepower.
Ryan Martin's basement holds secrets no fan has ever seen. Behind closed doors are things that show the real cost of racing and the hidden moments that cameras never captured. Are there hidden secrets behind Ryan Martin's fame? Is there more driving his success than what fans see on TV? Join us as we uncover the truth behind these discoveries. Number 9. The pile of destroyed engines. The first discovery inside Ryan Martin's hidden space is a sight that stops anyone in place. Deep in the basement, past the tool benches and the scrap metal piles, lies a mountain of engines that once roared with incredible strength. These machines were built to handle extreme power, the kind most people can barely imagine, the kind that lifts a car forward with a speed that feels impossible. But even great power has limits. And down here, those limits sit exposed. Each engine in the pile tells a story of force pushing beyond what metal can carry. When Ryan races, the Fireball machine runs with horsepower counted in the thousands. At that level, every run is a test against heat, pressure, and speed. Some engines simply could not survive. Their pistons melted from the intense temperature, leaving soft, warped marks. Cylinder heads cracked like dry earth after weeks without rain. Turbos, once spinning fast enough to blur, shattered into pieces that looked sharp enough to cut through air. Fans watching from home see a smooth pass. They see a shining car flying down a straight track and everything looks under control. They see victory. They see speed. What they do not see is the violent fight happening inside the engine at that very moment. They do not hear the metal groaning under stress or feel the heat that rises high enough to ruin any part that hesitates. The basement shows the truth behind those perfect runs. This pile is the dark side of power, the place where every failed piece lands. The disturbing part is not just the broken metal, it is the cost behind it. Each engine represents money lost in seconds. Car parts at this level are not cheap. The damage lying here equals tens of thousands poured into testing, tuning, and rebuilding. Sometimes the engine fails before a race even starts. Other times it gives up in the middle of a high-speed pass, forcing Ryan and his crew to tear everything apart and start again. Every failure means long nights, more spending, and more risks. But the financial side is only half of the story. These engines also reveal how close racing comes to danger. When an engine running at extreme power explodes, it is more than a mechanical problem. It can end a run, destroy a car, or threaten a driver's safety. If this pile speaks loudly, the next discovery whispers something even deeper, something that brings the danger even closer to home. Number 8. Wrecked car parts from real accidents. Deep inside the basement, past the engines and the scrap metal stacks, lies another section that feels even heavier. Here, the shelves do not just hold parts that failed from pressure or heat. They hold pieces of the Fireball Camaro that were damaged in real accidents, moments where skill, speed, and danger smash together in a way no fan ever sees fully. This part of the basement looks like a silent graveyard of battles fought on asphalt. The first thing anyone notices is the mangled frame sections. They sit in long pieces, twisted in shapes no metal should ever take. Some are bent inward, as if pushed by an invisible hand. Others are cracked along their edges, showing where force broke through the car's strength. These frames once formed the backbone of a machine built for power. Now they lean against the wall like tired soldiers after a hard fight. Nearby are warped suspension arms, curled from stress and impact. These parts normally keep the car stable, holding the wheels steady even at impossible speeds. Seeing them bent and twisted shows just how violent a crash can be. Bent roll cage tubing sits on the ground as well, metal that was meant to protect the driver but could not stay perfect under the pressure of real accidents. Torn metal panels lie in thin, sharp layers, ripped apart when the car hits the wall. Damaged carbon fiber pieces, once smooth and strong, are now cracked and splintered. All these parts form the heart of this discovery, but the story becomes even deeper when the accidents behind them come into view. The first major accident came during the 2021 No Prep Kings season. It happened in the middle of filming at a competitive event. Ryan's Fireball Camaro began a run with strong power, but a violent shake suddenly tore through the car. In a split second, the machine snapped sideways, sliding with speed that no one could control. The impact crushed the front and the passenger side of the car, leaving the Fireball broken and bruised. Ryan walked away safely, but the car barely survived. What rests in the basement from this crash tells the real story. There is the front splitter, no longer straight and sharp, but bent into a heavy curve. Sections of the front end frame folded in on themselves, showing exactly where the car took the hardest hit. Shredded slicks lie nearby, torn by the slide on the track. Telemetry logs sit in a folder, recording the moment traction disappeared. Crew notes from that night describe how severe the front damage was, how the engine mount failed, and how the suspension needed urgent inspection. These pieces form one of the most shocking corners of the basement, a quiet reminder of how quickly a perfect pass can turn into a dangerous moment. The second major accident happened in 2022, but this one never aired on television. It took place during an off-camera testing session, the kind racers do to prepare for the next season. During one of these runs, the Fireball Camaro faced severe tire shake. The entire car vibrated with force, and before anyone could react, it swerved hard, damaging the suspension and the body. Ryan talked about it only briefly in interviews, but the basement holds the full truth. The parts stored from this wreck sit on their shelf. A rear control arm twisted into an unnatural shape. A bead lock wheel cracked along its edge. Burnt wiring looms marked by heat from electrical strain. Tuning sheets with handwritten notes describe how too much power was delivered too early and how the cold track surface affected the run. This area of the basement reveals the price Ryan pays in silence, working through failures no one else ever sees. Then there is the part of this discovery that feels the deepest. This is not about torn metal or broken parts. It is about what the crashes left behind in his mind. Inside labeled boxes, the crew keeps items from the emotional aftermath. One box holds a helmet with marks from impact. Another contains a fire suit colored by heat in certain areas. There are printouts of crash diagrams showing what failed and why. And then there is the box marked with the lessons learned from the 2021 wreck. Inside it are sketches of parts that need re-engineering and notes from the team explaining where risks hid in the car. But just when you think the wrecked parts reveal everything, the next discovery proves the danger runs even deeper. Number 7. The unsettling collection of safety gear. Deep inside the hidden workshop space, past the quiet shelves and the metal scrap racks, sits a corner that feels heavier than all the broken engines combined. It is not loud, it is not messy, but it is the one place that makes anyone who enters feel a slow chill work its way down their spine. This corner is filled with the gear that kept Ryan Martin alive on days when the track tried its best to take everything from him. Placed carefully on steel hooks and wooden crates are helmets with stress lines that look like tiny lightning scars. These are not scratches from storage. They are the marks left behind when sudden force snapped through the car and tried to reach him. When you hold one, you can almost sense the moment the shell bent. You can imagine the darkness, the impact, the frightening silence afterward. Each helmet carries a story no fan ever fully saw, a story the cameras could not capture because the danger happened faster than the blink of an eye. Next to them are gloves burnt from heat that rose higher than anyone wanted to believe. The edges look chewy and uneven, as if fire licked across them and pulled back only because it ran out of time. These gloves once held the wheel with full confidence. They once guided a machine pushing so hard that the air around it felt alive. And yet, here they lie, softened by flames, telling the truth about how quickly things can shift on a drag strip. There are ripped harness straps too, with fibers stretched thin from violent motion. You can see the point where the strap fought against sudden force. That moment could have been the difference between life and tragedy. When a harness tears, even a little, it shows just how close things came to going wrong in a way none of his fans ever want to imagine. A fire suit sits folded on a shelf, but its creases do not look natural. The front and sleeves carry melted threads, twisted into strange waves. The suit looks tired, battle-worn, as if it took the hit that should have reached Ryan. The melted patches whisper about heat so strong it wanted to wrap itself around him. And then there are the neck brace inserts. Someone who does not understand racing might ignore them. But when you look closely, you see warped shapes, slight pressure bends that prove they once absorbed sudden force. But the most unsettling discovery was not found in metal, fire, or gear. It was hidden in the pages of what Ryan wrote when no one was watching. Number 6. The years of unseen mental and physical burden. Beyond the shelves of wrecked engines and the silent row of damaged safety gear lies a plain wooden box that looks almost too simple to matter. But what sits inside carries more weight than any motor, any tire, or any melted racing suit. These are the notes and journals Ryan kept through the years, quiet proof that the fastest man on the street often carried storms no camera ever recorded. Inside the box are pages filled with tuning thoughts, written late at night after long test sessions. The handwriting shifts from steady to rushed, showing the long hours and the tired hands that wrote them. On some pages, you see lines of adjustments, ideas, and tiny marks that show how much attention he gave every detail. These notes are not just technical thoughts. They are pieces of a man fighting to stay ahead in a field where even a small mistake can cost everything. Tucked beside the tuning sheets are emotional logs from sleepless nights. Simple notes, raw and honest, written after stressful days on the track, days when the pressure of staying on top pushed him beyond exhaustion. These pages carry questions, worries, and moments of doubt. They prove that even the strongest racers feel fear, stress, and loneliness when the lights go out and the cheering stops. There are budget breakdowns too, simple lists showing how much went into repairs, travel, upgrades, and crew support. The numbers reveal a truth fans rarely think about. Racing at this level eats money faster than a fire burns through cloth. Seeing the cost laid out in his handwriting shows the financial weight he carried quietly while smiling on camera. Another stack holds crew stress reports. These are small summaries of how hard the team worked, where the strain showed, and what needed attention. It proves that the pressure did not rest on Ryan alone. The whole crew lived it with him. The long nights, the broken parts, the constant need to perform. This is where the human cost becomes clear. Ryan did not just fight for speed. He fought to stay on top in a world where everyone is chasing the same dream. The anxiety of keeping the winning edge sits in every line he wrote. The responsibility of supporting a team shows in every number he calculated. Number 5. The hidden storage of early Fireball cars. Behind the main workshop, past the bright areas where today's championship machines are tuned and polished, lies a quiet room most fans would never imagine existed. It looks like an ordinary storage space at first glance, but once the lights switch on, everything inside tells the story of how hard and painful the early years of Fireball performance truly were. This room is not filled with glory. It is filled with the cars that came before the fame. The ones that almost broke the dream before it even had the chance to rise. Leaning against one wall is an early Fireball Camaro chassis, twisted in a way that makes the metal look tired. The frame once carried big hopes, but today it sits like a reminder of how quickly mistakes reveal themselves in racing. The bends and angles show where stress pressed too hard, where the metal reached its limit, and where young ambition met the harsh truth of speed. Beside it is another early body, one that carries long stress fractures across its panels. These tiny lines look like spider webs at first, but when you study them closely, you can see the story they tell. They show how close the early builds came to failing on the track. One wrong hit, one more pass, and the entire structure could have folded in a heartbeat. It is unsettling to imagine how close things came to ending long before the world knew the name Fireball. Stacked in the corner are the abandoned prototype parts, odd shapes, strange fittings, pieces that never made it to the final build. These were early inventions, ideas Ryan tried when he was still learning, experimenting, and pushing to find the magic formula. Some parts look like they were cut apart mid-project, their edges rough and unfinished. Others look complete but wrong, as if they carried promises that simply never came to life. Closer to the wall sit engines that would not fire no matter how many times the team tried. They are not broken in dramatic ways. They are simply silent, frozen at the edge of possibility. These engines represent nights spent adjusting, replacing, testing, and trying again. They hold the hope of a team that was hungry for success, but did not yet have the tools or resources to reach it. Then there are the memories of failed test passes. Even though the room holds no videos or notes, the scars on the cars speak clearly. Scrapes on the sides show where early attempts spun out. Panel dents show where sudden force pushed too hard. Burn marks show where something overheated before anyone could stop it. These early mistakes, preserved in metal, are the pieces of a journey no fan usually gets to see. What makes this room emotional is not the damage. It is the truth behind the damage. These cars are the broken dreams that came before the victories. They are the attempts that almost convinced the team to give up, the machines that felt like dead ends, the moments where failure sat heavy in the air. If these early builds had been the end of the story, there would be no championships, no victories, no Fireball legend. But if the early cars revealed the past, the next discovery revealed a truth far more shocking: the real cost of staying on top. Number 4. Financial records no fan expects. Near the back of the workshop, in a locked steel cabinet, lies a set of folders that feel heavier than any engine block on the property. These are the financial records, pages and pages of numbers that show exactly what it takes to compete at the top of No Prep Kings. Most fans imagine the life of a top racer as shiny and exciting, full of wins and celebrations. But these documents expose a side of racing no one ever talks about. A side that proves how expensive every victory truly is. The first set of pages shows the cost of a single race night. It becomes clear immediately that winning is not just about being fast. It is about paying a price that few people can imagine. The list starts with fuel expenses, and the numbers climb quickly. Drag cars do not sip fuel gently. They drink it with the hunger of a machine built for battle. Every pass burns through money as fast as it burns through the track. Then come the tire replacements. Drag tires do not last long, especially when the car is pushed as hard as Ryan pushes his. Some tires barely survive a night. Some fail mid-run. The record shows tire after tire purchased, mounted, used, and replaced. The pattern feels endless. Next are the engine rebuild totals. These numbers are the ones that hit the hardest. Every time a motor is pushed to its limit, the team risks losing it in seconds. And rebuilding an engine is not a simple task. It takes time, skill, and a painful amount of money. The totals across the season could make even a wealthy man hesitate. But racing at this level demands it. If the car is not perfect, it will not survive the competition. Crew wages come next. This is where you see how deeply Ryan carries responsibility. The team is not just a group of helpers. They are skilled workers who spend long nights in the shop, long days on the road, and long hours preparing the car for battle. Paying them fairly is non-negotiable. Their work keeps the car alive. Then come the travel and towing expenses. Moving a race car from place to place is not easy. It takes big trucks, long drives, and constant planning. These costs stack up quickly, turning every trip into another line of weight on the financial list. What makes these records disturbing is how clearly they show the risk he takes every season. The numbers climb higher than most fans would ever guess. Number 3. Extreme dangers. Chemicals, fuel, and experiments. Deep beneath the bright, polished workshop sits a section of the basement that feels different from every other room. The air here is heavier, the smell stronger, and the lighting dimmer. This is not a place of nostalgia or old memories. This is a place built around danger, real, powerful danger that only a racer living at the edge of speed would take on. The first thing that draws attention is the row of large methanol drums lined against the wall. Their silver surfaces look dull under the underground lights, but everyone who knows racing understands the incredible power they hold. Methanol burns fast and strong, and storing this much in one place demands trust, discipline, and constant caution. Even the smallest mistake near these drums could turn the room into a disaster. Right beside them are the nitro cans. They are smaller but somehow feel even more dangerous. Nitro is a fuel that can turn a normal engine into a monster, pushing it harder than physics should allow. These cans are stored carefully, each one sealed and marked, yet simply standing near them sends a quiet chill down the spine. They are reminders that creating speed means working with materials that cannot forgive carelessness. A few steps away sits a rack filled with high-grade racing fuel containers. These hold the lifeblood of the Fireball machines. Clean, volatile, extremely powerful fuel designed to push every cylinder to its limit. Each container is strapped tightly, as if even the racks understand how precious and risky the contents are. Across from the fuel area is a collection of metal test samples from engine experiments. They come in different shapes and colors, each piece showing the result of early trials. Some pieces have burn marks, some have collapsed under extreme heat, others are discolored from pressure that pushed beyond safety. These small fragments capture the bravery behind developing faster engines, the willingness to try something new, even if that attempt ends in destruction. Further inside the room are the pieces that reveal the lengths Ryan and his team have gone to chase performance. Prototype turbo parts rest on a bench, some of them twisted or cracked from failed tests. These pieces were once ideas full of hope, meant to bring new power and new speed. But many of them met the harsh truth of reality when they failed to hold up under pressure. There are also parts from experiments that did not survive. Metal that split open under stress. Components that blew apart during early testing. Some of the fragments still carry dark stains from heat that reached levels no machine should ever face. Each failed piece shows how risky it is to push a race car beyond known limits. Among the files on a small desk are notations describing explosions during testing. These notes are simple and direct, but reading them sends a jolt of fear. Behind those few words are moments that could have gone terribly wrong. These records prove that every step of innovation carries danger, and every test could be the one that brings unexpected destruction. Scattered pieces of scrap from early Fireball builds lie in crates nearby. They look harmless now, but each one is a memory of a test gone wrong, a part that cracked, melted, or gave up under the weight of high horsepower. But as intense as these materials were, nothing prepared the team for what they discovered next, a collection that revealed hidden stories no camera had ever captured. Number 2. Unseen footage and data archives. In a room deeper inside the basement, past the shelves of parts and the bins of tools, lies a storage area unlike anything else in the entire building. It is quiet, cold, and organized with extreme care. At first glance, it looks like a simple media room, but once the drawers are pulled open and the screens power up, the truth becomes clear. This is the place where the past lives. A place holding footage, data, and recordings that never reach the public eye. The first drawer contains unreleased crash angles. These clips show the same incidents fans watched on television, but from views that were never shown. Slow-motion impact footage captures the exact moment metal bends, twists, and snaps under terrible force. Each frame reveals details the human eye would miss, and watching them feels like witnessing time stretch itself open. The slow speed makes every movement feel heavier and more real. It becomes impossible to ignore the raw violence a race car endures when something goes wrong. Another folder holds telemetry showing the G-forces during different crashes. Numbers spike sharply in certain moments, painting a picture of how much stress the driver's body faced in a fraction of a second. This data is scientific and cold, but when matched with the footage, it becomes emotional. It proves that every crash felt far worse from inside the car than any camera could ever show. Stored on another device is crew radio audio never made public. This sound captures the moments before, during, and after major incidents. The voices of the team reflect fear, urgency, confusion, and relief as they react in real time. These recordings reveal the human side of racing, the teamwork, the concern, the instant decisions that keep everyone safe. Further inside the room, another archive reveals behind-the-scenes confrontation recordings. These are not dramatic fights but real moments of stress. Heated tuning debates fill the files, moments where team members push their ideas forward with passion, wanting only what they believe is best for the car. These discussions show how difficult it is to find the perfect setup, and how deeply everyone cares about getting it right. There are also stress-filled arguments after wrecks. These moments capture the weight that falls on the team after something breaks or goes wrong. Tension rises, voices shake, and emotions run high as they try to understand what failed and how to fix it before the next race. In another folder lie raw discussions about safety concerns. These conversations show how serious the team is about protecting the driver and the car. Every detail is examined, every risk discussed, and every possibility questioned. Yet even with all these secrets revealed, one final discovery waited in the shadows. Number 1. Personal items that hit the hardest. Deep inside the basement, away from the engines, tools, and machinery, there is a quiet space that feels different from everything else. It is softer and stiller, a place that shows the human side of racing. while the other areas reveal danger, damage, and technical risks. This corner hints at why Ryan Martin keeps returning to the track, the emotional stakes behind every run, and the weight he carries with every start. Here, personal items connected to life outside racing give a sense of perspective. Photographs of family and loved ones, simple reminders of home, and personal mementos are often kept nearby by professional drivers. These items symbolize the people who matter most, and they remind a racer of what is truly at risk whenever a car leaves the starting line. The presence of such objects makes it clear that racing is about more than speed or winning. It is about returning safely to those who wait. Even without seeing the exact items, it is easy to imagine how such personal reminders create a quiet anchor amid the chaos of high-speed racing. They highlight the emotional reality behind the sport, the pressure, the risk, and the constant need to balance ambition with responsibility. For Ryan, every race involves more than physical skill. It involves protecting a life he values beyond the track. This space serves as a stark reminder that the danger of racing is not only mechanical or financial. It has a human dimension, the love, the worry, and the hope that each run will end safely. The personal side of a racer's world is rarely captured on camera, but it shapes every decision, every risk taken, and every moment spent in preparation. It is a quiet but powerful force that underpins every victory and every failure. In the context of his basement discoveries, this section is the most emotional. It connects the high-octane, dangerous world of racing with the very human motivations that drive Ryan forward. The machines, the wrecked engines, the chemicals, and even the data archives all show his dedication and risk. But it is the thought of family and the desire to return home safely that gives the most profound meaning to everything else. This quiet corner reminds anyone who sees it that racing is more than just a spectacle. Behind the speed, the crashes, and the victories is a man with connections, responsibilities, and emotions that drive every decision. The heart behind the helmet is just as important as the hand on the wheel, and this discovery brings that truth into focus in a way nothing else in the basement can. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.